Welcome to the Pip and Pin podcast. I am Megan Nodecker. It is September 7th, and this is episode number 5. You can find me a couple different places on Instagram and Facebook. I am Knit Pip and Pin. Instagram is the one to go to if you actually want to see things. On Ravelry, I am Knit Pip and Pin, and there's also a Ravelry group called Pip and Pin. Usually, this one is a little bit early. Usually I've been doing them every 2 weeks, and this is about a week since my last one, and that is because I just couldn't wait. Here's a big red elephant in the room. I am finally going to be able to release this pattern that I've been working on for ages and ages and ages, and it's been a secret, and it's a thing that's happening. September 10th, that is Sunday, this will be released. So this is your sneak peek right now. I'm going to take it off because it's still really hot here, and it'll probably be able to show you a little bit more. And I'm sitting on it because it's really long. First off, I'm going to talk about the yarn. And this is a new yarn, which is why it had to be a secret for so long. It just came out, the beginning of August. And it is the Fiber Company, Erin More Light. So it is their Erin More base, just a DK weight instead of Erin. And this is 80% wool, 10% silk, and 10% cashmere. And I don't know how, I always get this kind of with the Fiber Company, but they have this way of making yarn that is so unique and feels rustic, like it feels like a wool, like a tweedy woolly wool. So if Georgia is sitting right behind the camera watching YouTube, also weird day, weird time, so she wanted to watch her show while in here. So if the camera bounces around, also that's her, because the camera's on the bed, but she seems content for now. Anyways, yes, Erin More Light. They just make these yarns that are rustic, yet feel so like they just feel such high quality, and they feel like luxurious almost while you're wearing them. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not super soft, but it's not a cashmere merino blend. It's more rustic than that, but it still manages to feel like you're wearing something of such high quality. I don't know. It's amazing. And this is the Ruari color. And reds are really difficult for me. I usually don't wear a ton of reds because I have very pink skin. So if I wear the wrong red, I just look like a beet. But this red is perfect. Like, this is the most perfect red I've ever seen. It's blowing out a little bit. Well, not blowing out, but it's not really registering quite right. It's very cool. It's not really a maroon, but it's really dark and cool. And you can get these little, because there's some tweed in there too. So these little pops of black and green, black and bright blue, and little pops of bright red. Yeah, it's not quite showing exactly, but it is just amazing. And these are 100-gram skeins, 300 meters, 328 yards, and just I'm so happy. Like, I'm so happy with this. I've been so mad all summer because I finished knitting it probably a month or two ago, and I have not been able to wear it once. Not once have I been able to wear this outside. That 5 minutes was about it, and the day that we did our photography. um, and those are the two times that I've been able to wear it, and I'm so excited for it to finally cool down so that I can just wear this every single day. But I'll tell you a little bit more about the design itself. It is a shawl colored open front cardigan. And sorry, I'm just going to move this up a little bit because I feel like I'm hitting it. Just my microphone. But it's a shawl colored open front cardigan. Really lots and lots of ease. I think mine has about 8 or 10 inches of positive ease. I've had some testers who are doing less and some are doing a little bit more. This rolled, really long sleeves with this rolled cuff, which is when I put them on. Okay, this is my favorite thing about sweaters, and I really wanted this one to have it, but they fall to about here on me. And what I like is just being able to grab the cuff. I don't know, it's this weird little randomy thing, but it's what I love. And the body of it itself doesn't have any shaping or anything, but there's 2 lengths. So you can have the full length, which is the one that I knit, and I'm not going to lie, it took a really long time. But that one goes to just about my knees, maybe halfway between mid-thigh and knee. And then I also wrote a pattern for like a more traditional coat length, so hip, maybe a little bit longer. Really easy to customize how long you want to make it. You do it's knit from the bottom up, so you do the bulk of the body first. So if you're really, really getting tired of knitting the body, you can stop whenever you want, really, and it will look great at whatever point you decide. When it does get released, I do have some people knitting it right now, and it was a really quick turnaround, so I don't think everybody's going to be quite finished, but there will be some pictures of the longer length and the shorter length. There's a nice mix in there. And then the patterning is kind of, sorry, George is moving around. The patterning is all just knit and purl stitches, and kind of in 3 separate panels. So there's this one in the middle here, hopefully that's going. Yeah, that one in the middle there. And then a couple of these arrow patterns, and then some stockinette, and it's all just kind of with these dividers in the middle. Really quite simple once you get it. Like the setup row and kind of getting everything started, it takes quite a bit of concentration. In the pattern, there's a kind of chart to help you along as well. But once that's all set up, then you just kind of go. I think the stitch pattern is 4? No. I don't remember how many rows. 4 or 8 row repeats. Yeah, so for each of the stitch patterns, it has both charted and written directions. So whatever you prefer to work off of, they're both there. And yeah, the construction of the sweater is quite basic. It's knit from the bottom up. So you start at the bottom of the body, knit all the way up to the armpits, and then you separate, and then knit one front, knit the back, and then knit the other one. And then the shoulder seams are done with a 3 needle bind off. And that is, if you've never done one before or think they're scary, bite the bullet and do it, because it makes such a nice seam there. And they're really, really easy to do. If you really don't want to, you can always just bind off and then hand seam it together, but 3 needle bind off. It's a good one. It has drop shoulders, so there's no shaping at the armholes at all. So it's literally just straight up and down. And then the sleeves, you just pick them up, pick up stitches around the armhole, and then knit from the armhole down. And the shawl collar, typical shawl collar construction. Pick up all the way along the front band, around the back, down the other side, and then there's just short rows in the collar to make the shawl collar. Another reason why I wanted to do it this podcast now instead of waiting until next week is because this is getting released on Sunday. I wanted to give a promotion code away. So this is going to be for 25% off on Ravelry. And the code for that is Quenelle 2017. And I'll put that down there because it's kind of weird spelling. It's named after a town in BC here. And yeah, so Quenelle 2017, use that on Ravelry for 25% off the pattern when it comes out from September 10th until the 15th. Georgia was saying that she was upset because there was not a Lightning McQueen show on All About Cars right now. Anyways, the second one, kind of news, tip and pin news thing, is we have the rhomboid hat. And this is actually an older pattern from probably 2-3 years ago. And 2 or 3 years ago, and we just did a facelift. We went to take some new pictures, and we did a new layout. We actually did the pictures at the same time as we did for the Quenelle cardigan, so they were all done at White Cliff Park, and Katie and I got to go and do those by ourselves with no kids, which was really nice. It was literally the only cloudy day, and I think it even rained. It sprinkled on us just a little bit, but that was the only cloudy day we've pretty much had all summer. This new sample is knit in, I'm going to put it on. It's knit in Malabrigo Rios in the pearl colorway, and I believe it's 100% superwash merino. I think the original pattern I had used Patton's classic wool. I'm not sure. Classic wool, whatever. Fine wool, but I mean, when you compare it to a beautiful, beautiful superwash merino, there really just isn't any comparison. The old sample is long gone anyways. Justin actually, he stole it and he wore it to work every day for 2 years until I think it finally disintegrated, and now he just wants me to make him another one. He's not getting this one. This one is mine. This has always been kind of one of my favorite hat patterns, so it needed a facelift, and I got one. So if you purchased this pattern before, you should have gotten an email about updating it, so you can get the new pattern. Yeah, if you've gotten it anywhere other than Ravelry, just let me know, and I'll send you the new one. I think probably in the next year or so, we might be redoing a couple of our older patterns, because I feel like we've come such a long way since we first started that it needs to be done. Like if I don't know if anyone of you have our old patterns or not, but you compare what we did 3 years ago to what we've been doing now, and like the photography alone, that has taken us 8 years to get somewhere where I finally feel like it's where it needs to be. And just our layout and our style in general has grown so much that our old patterns don't really reflect who we are anymore. So we need to update those to get them into now. Some of them I don't think will bother, but I know that there are some you know, very nice patterns that just aren't getting the love that they deserve. Yeah, so that's kind of it for Pip and Pin new stuff news. Let's move on to finished stuff. I have one finished thing. Again, it's only been a week since last time. And this I did actually show last time as well as a finished object, but it just wasn't blocked. So here is the blocked shawl. And last time I showed this, it was literally just a bunch of squiggles and you couldn't see anything. And now it's a real shawl. And this is, I've named this shawl, I have it, my handwriting is really bad, and I literally just came up with this name yesterday. It's after a mine up on the Coquihalla Highway, and my A's and my O's look very similar. So I'm just going to rewrite it so that I can actually read it. It is called Carolyn. This is the Carolyn shawl, and this is made with one of Caitlin French's yarn blanks and her gradient yarn blanks, which are all just beautiful. They are hand dyed with natural dyes. So this one was done with tansy and logwood. I know there's one, I had a really hard time deciding between this one and then there was one with indigo and logwood, which was like this nice blue and purple. And where was I? These are 115 grams and 80% wool, 20% nylon. And they're just lovely. And I wanted to design something that would use up the whole skein, so you would get kind of the full scope of the gradient, and to use up as much as possible, and to make it as big as possible. I'm not a huge fan of single skein shawls, and this yarn kind of it needed to be a shawl for me, just because of the way the gradient is. That's just what it needed to be. So I knew I wanted to make a shawl, but I'm just not a fan of small shawls. I like them to be quite a bit bigger. So I came up with the idea of doing these drop stitches. So there's some rows of drop stitches and these double drop stitches to make it just a more substantial size. It's also kind of an not odd shape, but it's a little bit unique. It's like a crescent. You do similar shaping as you would a crescent shawl, except I kind of started it in the middle. So, like if you've ever done a garter tab before, well, this starts with a garter tab, except it's 80 stitches long. So this part is kind of your beginning, and then you work down from here. Instead of, starting and then going up, you're starting with a straight line, and then you go a little bit up. And the reason why I wanted to do that way is because I wanted to make it long enough and deep enough, and I just wanted to utilize as much of the yarn as I could while making something that I would want to wear, because I design things that I want to wear. And I did get a chance to wear this. The other day I went to Play Abbey, which is like an indoor play thing for kids. It was really, really smoky and hot outside, and so me and Georgia just went there for the afternoon. And places like that, they always crank the AC, so it was way too hot. But I did get to wear this with a t-shirt, and it was really really lovely, because it just kind of it just wears very, very nicely. I'll keep it on for a minute. Yeah, super easy to wear. So right now, I have it with a couple people who are knitting it as a test, and hopefully the pattern for this one will be out before Knit City, because she's going to be having these sock blanks at Knit City, and she's going to be right beside us, so I think that would be nice to have it done before then. So that's the goal. I think it's totally doable. I just need to, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen the pictures that I took, and they were literally just right out on my patio. I kind of cleared as much crap out of there as I could and took some pictures with my phone. I'm sure between now and Knit City, I'll take some actual pictures of it. But yeah, so that one will be coming out soon too. And I'm just looking at my work in progresses and realizing, and this is kind of terrible, and I didn't mean to do this, and I kind of feel like a nerd, but everything that I'm going to show you is mine, like one of my designs or designs in progress, or yeah, there is nothing that I'm going to show you that's from anyone else. And I'm sorry about that. I really, I feel kind of weird, but that's just how it went. It's, you know, it's only been a week, so I am working on, I have a Gramps from Tin Can Knits on the needles right now, but I haven't worked on it at all this week, so I'm not going to show it. But that's, yeah, everything else is kind of mine. Anyways, yeah. So the first one here is my socks, and these are the same ones that I've been working on for a little while now. And I am calling these my Afterthought Everything socks. And oh good, it's showing up a little better than it was last time. I know my camera was having some issues with focusing on things close up last time. It looks like it's doing much better. But yeah, this is Afterthought Everything, kind of the same sock recipe that I've been doing for the past couple pairs of socks. I just knit one big long tube for both of them, both socks, cut them in half, and then add the cuffs and toes and heels at the end. And I'm really liking the way this yarn is knitting up. It is Patons Croy Socks in the gray-brown marl. And you can get this at any, you know, Michael's or I guess Joann's if you live in the States. We don't have that here, but yeah, 75% wool, 25% nylon. I've used this stuff before, and it's a really nice, you know, sturdy yarn. I'm knitting them on my newer needles. These are Chiaogu, the lace tip ones, size 0, so 2 millimeters. I think these are the 32-inch cables. I'm quite new to magic looping socks. I used to be a hardcore, you know, double-pointed needle user. I'm really liking the magic loop. I think I might have to go up a needle size or two, though. For these ones, I added a couple extra stitches because the pair I had made previously just turned out a little bit tight. And so I added some stitches, and now I'm thinking that it might, like the fabric just might be too tight, and that's the issue that I'm having. My favorite pair of hand knit socks doesn't, you know, it is quite a bit looser. And so I think, yeah, next time I'm at the yarn store, I'll pick up a pair of size 1s or the next size or 2 up, maybe one of each, just so I see. I'm sure they'll be fine. Like, I'm not gonna rip them out and switch or anything. I'll finish these ones on the needles that I have, and then yeah, and then go from there. Switch on the next pair. I'm gonna take this off because it's getting hot. I had to close my window because I live right by the hospital, and there's also a like a police station down the road, and then there's the ambulance depot, and so it's pretty much just constant sirens. Also by a really busy road. It just gets loud, and yeah, not good. So window is closed, light is on, still hot. Anyways, the next thing that I'm working on is, this is one that I've been working on quite a bit. This has been my my like park knit, and it is my Mount Pleasant, patterned by me. And so there it is at the beginning of it. I'm just about done the body. This is knit with, I have a nice skein to show you. Nice-ish. Sweet Fiber Cashmerino 20. And this is the Marshland colorway. It's 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, and 10% nylon. These are 115 grams skeins, 400 yards. And this color is, yeah, showing up wonderfully. It didn't so much last time, but I bought this at Knit City. I bought 4 skeins of it because that's all I could find. I bought it at Knit City last year and was kind of saving it. And then I decided to stop saving it and just knit something that I wanted to knit. So I decided to knit this. And a couple things I'm doing a little bit different. If you look at the pattern for it, I knit that also with Sweet Fiber or sock yarn actually. I knit that in a size large, which had about 2 inches of positive ease on me. This one I'm doing an extra large, and so that one will have quite a bit more, I think 6 inches or so. And I just wanted a bigger one. I've been seeing lots of people making them like this with more ease than that, and I've really liked them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm also going to add maybe an inch or two to the length. And not that I want to make it longer, because there is Main Street, which is the longer version of this pattern, but I didn't want to make it long. Like, I still want to do it cropped, but I found that if I wear it, like as I'm wearing it, it kind of grows out and up. So to counteract that, I just want to add another inch or two, just so I'm not always, tugging it down. And there's one other kind of modification that I made to it that, I don't think it was the right decision, but this is the lace. So this is the bottom of the shirt, the lace. And if you can see the first couple rows here, I'm showing it to you upside down, but I actually added an extra row. I added an extra row of garter stitch to the bottom, because sometimes just the way that it is when you're wearing it, it does flip up a little bit even after it's been blocked. I mean, it does have a little bit of a curl. Like, it's not going to curl all the way up, like it's not going to roll up, but it does have a slight curve, and I kind of wanted to counteract that, but I think that was the wrong decision. I think it just made the bottom a little bit too heavy, and it lost some of its, nice, delicate, lacy bit at the bottom. Anyways, you live, you learn. So I think that's kind of been the one that I was gonna say that's kind of the one that I've been working on the most, but that's a lie. I've been working on my other one more. That's the one that I want to finish for Knit City, because that's what I want to wear. I'm working on a skirt to go with it, which hopefully I can have them both done, and I'll have a whole little Knit City outfit. The last thing I'm working on, kind of, I don't know if I'm really going to be working on it anymore, is I've a new design, and it is tentatively called the Atlin sweater. It's made with Cascade Eco Plus in charcoal, which is great yarn. I'm just having issues. I'll show you what I've done, because it's a lot. So here's the top and kind of part of the sleeve, and the body, hem. Body's done. One sleeve is partially done. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to restart. Luckily, this yarn knits up in no time. And like I've been working on this for about a week. And yeah, it's pretty much done. But I made a really big rookie mistake. And when I was doing my swatch, the swatch that I used for every single calculation while I was doing the math to grade the sweater and make the pattern, it's totally off. Totally off. I did not swatch in the round. I made a small swatch, and usually when you are knitting something smaller, you tend to have a tighter gauge. That's just kind of how it works. Also, knitting in the round versus knitting flat, your gauge is going to be different. And yeah, so my swatch was just wrong by about a stitch per inch, which when you have 4 stitches to an inch is a lot. It adds up very quickly. So this more than half finished sweater is way too big. It's like I'm not going to take it apart yet because I have enough yarn to restart and see how that goes before I do anything else. So I'll restart. I've already done most of the math. It's just a little. If you don't like frogging things, don't become a knitwear designer. Just saying. It happens a lot, probably more than anyone would like to admit. It happens all the time. Yeah, and I mean, just in case my second plan doesn't work out and I'm okay with this, I am going to keep this together for now. This is still a giant ball. And I showed you how much of the sweater I did. Like it's almost done. And this is still what I have left of my second skein. And I have 2 more skeins. So probably with the new one that I'm going to do, that will be fine. And I'll just be able to set it aside. And I could, I was thinking about this last night when I was in bed, and I could just keep all of the same numbers and go down a needle size, but I don't really want to do that only because then it would change the fabric. And, I live in BC and we don't get super cold winters here, and I really want to be able to wear this, besides the 2 weeks in February when it actually gets cold. But I kind of like how airy the fabric is. It is a little bit breathable, and I feel like if I go down a needle size to try and get to what my original gauge was when I did all the math, I'm just going to end up with a sweater that's too tight. So I'm just going to keep my fabric, redo math. It's already pretty much done. I think I'm also going to change the shape of the body a little bit. I have it just straight, and I feel like there's just a little bit, because it is so oversized and it's so thick, like it needs a little bit of shaping, or it needs to be tighter around the bust, and maybe I'll make it A-line or something, like just slightly A-line, so there's a little room at the hip still. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You want some hot cocoa? It's 1,000,000 degrees in here. How about once I'm done, I'll make you some hot cocoa. Sound good?
And some marshmallows.
And some marshmallows? I don't know if we have marshmallows. Okay, well, if you can find marshmallows, I'll make you hot cocoa with marshmallows.
Yay!
When I'm done. Okay?
Yay!
Okay.
I don't want to put my headphones on. Sorry, Pat.
You have them on your head already. I'm just going to be about 5 more minutes, okay?
Talking to that camera?
Yeah.
About Katie?
About Katie and knitting and, yeah, lots of stuff. And podcast? Yeah. Okay. And then I'll make hot cocoa. Mm-hmm. A little George May interlude there. The last thing that I kind of want to talk about doesn't really have anything. Well, it does have to do with knitting, but it's not showing off any knitting. So if you don't want to hear about Knit City, then you can turn it off now. But I wanted to talk about Knit City and some of the stuff that we're going to be having there. Obviously, the main thing is our knitting patterns. And this year we found a printer that we really love. And I know both Katie and I are kind of, we just really love stationery and things that are printed on nice paper. And I don't know, I'm really excited about our patterns this year because they're just very nice quality. And they're like little booklets. So they have title page and then they unfold like a little book. And then like that. Yeah. So that is what our patterns are going to look like this year. We still have some of our patterns from last year, so our older ones might be a little bit different, but all of our new patterns are going to have the bifold and just so lovely, very nice. We're also going to have, of course, we'll have all of our samples on display. You can try them on. I guess we'll have to find a mirror. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, they'll all be there for you to try on and touch and feel. And I think Katie too is going to make up some pattern sample books for everyone to look through. Not like pattern books for sale or anything, but she's going to be having the title page and then the second page with all of the like yarn requirements and things on it, just so that you can flip through and take a look. I know some designers have them in binders and things, and we just thought to do something a little different when we make a little book. The company that we buy our prints from also makes books, so convenient. And I think that's what we're going to do if we can kind of get it all together in time. The other thing that this is new this year, I'm going to reach for it here, and these are our project bags. And I just started making these a couple months ago. And this is the sock size. This is our gray. Just like black lining inside, black cotton lining, and the outside is actually vinyl. So we have the gray, and then there's take this out for a minute. There's the gray, and then there's also a brown, and this is like really soft. It feels almost like calfskin. It's not. It's just vinyl. And then there's a black one, and then there's a green one. I showed the fabric last time, green with like these black flowers on it. Really beautiful. And what I wanted to do with these bags is, I know that there are so many project bags out there, and they all are, for different functions and different things. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what makes these ones different. And that is the vinyl. The outside fabric is completely like indestructible, pretty much. These two are the ones that I made for myself. They're kind of the prototype ones and the ones that actually turned out. And I have literally these are the ones that get squished and shoved in my bag. And I have Georgia, a 3-year-old. And things get spilled on them. I am not a super, I spill things. So coffee gets spilled on them. And what is wonderful about these is, while you can't really throw them in the washing machine, you can just take a cloth and wipe them off. So that is something that I wanted to make. I wanted something indestructible and something that was going to look good for a really long time, and I figured vinyl was the way to do it. I also I'm hoping to have a bigger size done for Knit City. Right now, these are just the sock ones, or like one skein bags, and good for hats or mitts or anything. I've been using them for socks. I have been carrying around my Mount Pleasant in one, which is 2 skeins right now because I'm alternating. And while it fits, you do have to like squish it. So I want to make ones that are just a bit bigger for 2 or 3 skein projects, bigger shawls and things like that. Not as sweater bags necessarily, but just bigger ones in general. So hopefully I can get a couple of those done. I was having some issues with my sewing machine. I was not impressed with it recently. In the past couple weeks since I started making these, basically, I've had to repair it like 3 times now. The first time, the top part, something was going all haywire and jamming, and so I had to take that apart and fix that. And then the bottom bobbin area was jamming, and that was an ordeal to like get it all back together. And then again, just the other day, it started jamming in the bobbin again, and I couldn't make it not jam up. So, I mean, it's a really old machine. It was my mom's old one, and it's kind of the one that I learned how to sew on. And I think it's just old. So Katie actually said that I could borrow hers because she doesn't use it very often, and I kind of feel like I'm, taking all her stuff, but I'm using her camera to film, and I'm going to be using her sewing machine. In the meantime, though, I did pop by my mom's place and I'm borrowing hers for a little while until I can get Katie's, because I want to make some more bags. And there's half finished ones too. So in the lovely like green floral that I really want to put together, and I just want to make sure that we have some of those. And then the bigger ones, I also got these for the bigger ones. I'm not going to guarantee this because they might not, but they might have pockets with magnet clippy guys inside. I did buy some magnet things, so we'll see how that goes. The other thing that we're going to have, and this was our like most popular supply item that we had last year, and those are somewhere. I normally have everything like organized and in a line of what I'm going to talk about. Not today. I just kind of threw everything on the bed, and I'm sorting through it as I go. Very different way of doing it for me. And this is my second time doing it, because the first time I did the whole episode, and it was probably like had the least amount of editing that needed to be done. Like, I feel like I'm kind of getting a little more used to it, so I felt like I didn't have to do too much editing, and I was like, I felt really good about it. And then I went to play it back, and the sound didn't work. 5 minutes in, the battery on my microphone died. So I was sitting there for about 40 minutes talking while not having any sound. So I had to redo it, and then of course like the battery was going to die, and things blah 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 blah. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the mess on the bed. So the mess actually started as a mess and then got to a bigger mess, and now it's like just this random pile of strings and things. Anyways, what I was actually talking about was our most popular item of Knit City last year, aside from our most popular supply item, and that was these guys. And these are vintage-inspired scissors. So they're not actually vintage, but they are made to look like it. They are very nice quality. nice and sharp and kind of heavy to feel. These are the snake ones, if you can see the little snake heads there. There's lots of different ones that we got in this year, so I'm sure that there are some if you don't like snakes. There's other ones too. These are just my favorite, and these are kind of the pair that I took for myself. I'm going to show them again because I like them. Yeah, I've been using these they've been in my project bag since the beginning of summer, because that's when we got them. And yeah, no, I'm still really in love with them. They're nice and heavy. They're sturdy. So we'll have lots of those. I know we sold out last year, and Sarah from Riv Creative, she does stitch markers and progress keepers and things. I posted a picture on Instagram of all the scissors that we were going to have, just a little preview, and she's like, oh, those ones, they're these big Art Deco ones with big handles, like, I need a pair of those. And they had sold out by Saturday at like noon. Every single pair of scissors had sold out, so I think she got there on Sunday and was so sad. So hopefully we do have more of those ones. So yeah. And that's, we're going to have some stitch markers, and then there's some other canvas bags that we might have as well. Some patterns, some samples. And I'm really excited about our booth display this year. I had a story when Katie and I did a mock-up of it in her backyard the other weekend, and I did a story about it on Instagram. And I'm, really, really excited. We managed to get a sturdy, for one, a pegboard wall, which is something that we've always wanted to do, and we kind of figured out how to do it. We ended up using like $15 IKEA shelves and zip ties, and it works. It's kind of magic. So we're gonna have that and a little table, and we'll have hooks, to hang up all the bags, and all of our samples will be on racks and things, and and then we're going to cross stitch on our pippin pin across the top. So I'm excited for that part. That was something that I really wanted to do. I think that's about it. If I don't see you, I kind of just don't know whether I'll get a chance to podcast again before Knit City, which is why I took this opportunity to do it now. And I'm going to be gone this weekend, and then next weekend we're leaving to go to Blue Lake for a week, and then so we're coming back next weekend, and then the weekend after that is Knit City. So why I decided to plan a week vacation a week before Knit City, don't ask me. Justin and I already discussed it, and we are doing our family camping trip in October next year, because maybe then there won't be a fire ban and it won't be so stinking hot. We are definitely not hot weather people. Last thing I wanted to say was just thank you so much for subscribing and for watching and for sticking around. I kind of didn't really know what to expect when I first started this, and the response that I've been getting from just from everywhere has been really awesome, and it's just been making me happy, and it's been making me want to do more. You never want to feel like you're just literally sitting here talking to yourself, so it is very nice to know that I'm not talking to myself, that I have people to talk to. So thank you, again, just thanks so much for watching, and I will see you at Knit City. Bye.